Oh, wait, let me do my typical intro. Yo, what up, my dudes? Ducitos, my dudes. I don't know, whatever you guys are nowadays, my dudes. This is the newest settings for Destiny 2. There was an update within the Zen Studio app, and I figured today would be a good day to go over all those. So this is the Studio app right here, and we are going to go over it. So first thing you need to do is grab your Zen, take it, and you plug it in. So we're going to do that, plugging it in. It's in the right side of the Zen that you're plugging in this cable. And as you plug it in, you'll see that this whole thing will pop up. Now here's the library, the compiler. We're going under programming. That's what we're looking at. So right here. Now let's go ahead and scroll down because we're looking for Destiny 2, which is right here. I've already got all these in here. I'm going to leave these top ones because I actually like the settings that I have for those. I'm going to leave those here. If you guys are not aware, there is a such thing as mod for beginners. This mods for beginners is really cool because it goes over a lot of the basics that you can put into any programming, any whatever video game that you want to play. So things like anti-recoil, you know, a shot mod activator, auto sprint, all kind of your typical features. And the cool thing about it is that you can switch these up while you're in game on your Zen. But here is what we're looking for, the Destiny 2 settings. So what I'm going to do here is get rid of those so we can start from scratch. Destiny 2. So you click on it, drag it down. Now you're going to get this pop-up screen right here. This is in slot 6 configuration. A lot of the new stuff that they added in is so that you can separate your primary from your secondary, from your from your heavy weapon. And let's go over what these are. So Guardian button layout, you want to match these between your Zen and your controller layout in the game. Same thing with the sticks. So if you're a southpaw or whatever these things are, I know these are, I don't do any of those. I just keep mine regular, but hey man, it's up to you guys what you're doing here. This one is if you're left-handed, basically right-handed, or if you use a claw grip. Now, this is kind of a funny one because this is an issue. So read this to yourselves here. This option blocks all rumble signals sent from the game, but still allows the game pack to read in-game rumble frequency. Now, we are going to keep this disabled. I also have it disabled in game, but you may need to enable it in game. So just keep an eye on this one, okay? If you're using it in game, but this is disabled, it's going to mess with your settings. If it's disabled here, you're going to have to play around with whether or not it is enabled or disabled in the game to see whether or not it helps your controller and, you know, all the other stuff work the way it's supposed to. Now, check this stuff out. Primary anti-recoil. This is your primary weapon. This is some of the updates. So you can see primary and secondary. A previous issue that we were having with Destiny scripting is that it would basically allow you to do one weapon, but that one across all weapons. So you could do anti-recoil, but it would only count as anti-recoil for, let's say, pulse rifles wanting to do rapid fire, so you could hold it down, but then you couldn't use a fusion rifle in your secondary slot. This corrects that, which is really cool. The other thing that it did not have was horizontal recoil adjustment. So that's really cool. The left to right versus the up and down. We're going to enable this, and I'm going to show you guys what this looks like in game so we can see what we're doing. So to be honest with you guys, what I do with this one is I kind of get my settings between something that I know to be an average, you know, and then I fix it while I'm in game, and I'll show you what that looks like so we can play around with the adjustments on the Zen while we're attached and testing it within the game itself. That way we don't have to go from the Xbox back to the computer, back to the Xbox, and money, you know, all the way back and forth. Anti-recoil for this one, you don't need to do much with Destiny weapons, but this is something we can play with. For example, the bottom dollar, when I tested that one, it tends to pull to the left as I'm shooting. So with the anti-recoil, let's say at 52, so it pulls down on the trigger, this will also pull left or right on the trigger. Let's go in this direction. Because it only pulls a little bit, we're going to have it pull to our right as we shoot. So every time we fire the trigger, if we decide to fire the trigger for full auto or whatever, it pulls it in this rightward, rightward, is that a word? Right side direction. And then it also pulls it down. That way we can adjust it to the point that it is perfectly straight, no matter the shot. Now, going on to the secondary, let's say we wanted to use a fusion rifle. I don't remember whether or not the bottom dollar, by the way, is a, we'll play around with this when we get in there. So if we're going to test bottom dollar and that's a secondary, we'll figure that out. But we're going to enable this as well. And if we're going for a fusion rifle or something like that, something that has a loading time before you shoot, then we want to make sure that we have our secondary weapon set up a certain way as well. So this gives you a good idea of how you might want to set up the secondary slot. What I usually do, or at least what I'm accustomed to doing, I do primary weapon pulse rifle, secondary weapon sidearm, but now I can do pulse rifle and fusion, which is another favorite loadout of mine. You can do it however you see fit. That is how I typically do it. So taking a look at what we got right here in the secondary slot, we're going to put your recoil however you want. This is how I do inverted wired because I'm crazy and that's just how I grew up doing it. So that's what I'm used to. And I'm going to turn this on to about the same setting, 45 to 50, around there. I'm going to leave the horizontal alone because we can test that when we're in the game. I'm going to activate it maybe at 1 or 2 so that it's active when I go through the thing. And then we'll go from there. Now, the heavy, if you use rocket launcher, if you use, grenade launchers, I don't think you need to do much here, but I'll leave it up to you guys. Whatever you feel like you need to do for that one. Aim assist and input device. This is where it gets a little more fun. So we're clicking controller. If you have a mouse, for example, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that very, very soon, mouse and keyboard. I am working on that. We're going to hit up right here with controller. I never go above 29 because Destiny has a ton of aim assist built into it already. So you don't really need much if you need anything at all, to be honest. And, between the bullet magnetism and the lag and the input that it has, it's kind of I haven't noticed much of anything with this, if it even works at all. So I don't know whether or not this does much, but I turn it on and I don't notice the difference between it being on and it being off, but here it is. If you guys want to try it out, if you notice something different in Destiny, then let me know. ADS fine tuning when you're aimed down sights, the sensitivity. What this could do for you is if you're one of those people that when you aim down sight, you tend to be a little crazy with looking down the scope, then this can slow that down for you. So sniper rifles and stuff like that. I have not had success with this, but some of you guys may do a lot better with this than me. Now, here's the fun stuff for me. Primary fire mod. Adjustable rapid fire. I'm going to put this on for my primary. I'm going to leave it off for now for my secondary because I want to do a loadout of pulse rifle with full auto, and that's what this does, and fusion rifle, something that has, let's say, backup plan so that I can whip that thing out, and fire when someone's trying to close the gap on me. And I am not going to mess with heavy mod because I don't think you need to. Just my opinion. You guys do what you need to do. Anyway, the fire mod activator. What this does is you can choose whether or not you fire on the button pull. So if you're pulling the right trigger down, it fires instantly, no matter if you're aiming down sights or not. Or you can set it up so that it fires when you hold down aim down sights only, but not when you're not aiming down sights. So then if you are not aiming down your sight, it won't fire in full auto. So you can choose to do that. Or you can just, this is probably the easier one here. So whenever you pull the trigger, it fires automatically, which is what you might want. Active shot mod. This is, we don't have prone in Destiny, but when you strafe or jump, it would shoot for you. I found this to be incredibly disruptive. Just my opinion. Maybe it can work with shotguns in certain scenarios, but I found that it does things that are not beneficial to me while I'm playing the game. So leave that up to you guys. The shot mod activator, fire instantly, ADS ignored. This is if you have a mod that activates only when you press fire and then another mod that activates when you press ADS and fire, this could be useful. I don't use it. It's too confusing for me. But if you guys find there's some use to this one, hey, hop on it, do your thing. Jumping mod, you perform one of the following jump mods. Each is unique in making it difficult for your enemies. Basically, when you hit a button such as A, it would do all of the jumps immediately. So it would double jump for you, for example. So if you're a hunter and you have the stompies, you can do a double jump every time you hit the button one time, and then you jump and fly through the air and then drop because you can do shatter dives. So that's pretty useful if you're one of those hunters that likes to jump around like a crazy person going through the air. Auto melee, this is really cool. You just have to hold the button as opposed to trying to time your melees. You would just hold the button down and it will melee as quickly as the reset is allowed for you to melee. Auto reload, stay away from this. It doesn't help at all. You release the fire, it reloads your weapon. I can't stand this one. So I'm sure somebody out there benefits from this. That's why it's in here. I don't like this one, but again, it's up to you guys. Easy super, it just changes up the buttons of how you do your super. So you could press down on your D-pad, for example, and it'll activate your super so that you don't have to press 2 buttons. Now, with my previous Xbox controller, my left bumper was giving me some grief. So I had to activate this so that I could actually use my super when I wanted to use it. Otherwise, it wouldn't work, because the button was sticking and it wasn't firing and doing what I needed it to do, causing me to die unnecessarily. Quick swapping. When you, what does this thing say? Allow you to perform a quick weapon swap by using the sprint reload glitch, apparently. Okay. So if you were going to reload, for example, your sniper rifle, most people, what they do is they reload and go through part of the animation and then they run forward. You forego the animation, but then you still get the reload because the timing of it is whatever it is. You don't have to go through the entire animation. So it's a bit of a glitch. Unfreeze stasis, I'm keeping this off. When you get frozen in stasis, this will automatically hold the B button for you so you can break out as quickly as possible. The idea behind this one is that when you hold it down and when you in the game, the minute that you get frozen, it might give you like an extra half a second to get out, potentially causing you to survive. What I've noticed when I use it is that it messes with me when I slide and press the bottom B button. So when I slide as a hunter, it makes me dive roll, and I don't like that. So I keep this one disabled because my use and when I've used it, it's been one of those things that messes too much with my gameplay, and I don't really like it. If you are tired of constantly pressing the left stick down, this is really a cool feature. And there's a lot of benefits to this, especially for people that are shotgun, primaries. They running around auto sprinting is a really good thing to have to get you out of sticky situations. All you have to do is hold the button forward instead of pressing down and holding. And that little bit of extra time, there's some muscle memory there that's kind of hard to get away from, but that little bit of time really does help. Now, if you want to not sprint, I found that you have to crouch and walk forward. But everywhere that you go, you're going to be sprinting. If you're trying to walk or sprint, it is a sprint no matter what. So there's good and bad to that. If you are trying to stay off radar, crouching is one of the best things you can do anyway, but trying to stay off of radar and you want to walk, for example, the radar pings are different between walk and run. This will make you run. So you'll always be on radar. You can manipulate radar, in this game a certain way, but this one is one of those things where if you're a shotgun person, then this is probably going to be your best friend, because the minute that you jump up in the air, land on the ground, and then move forward, you can move very, very quick without having to do all that much to your buttons. Pretty cool. Hair triggers, the minute that you start to press the trigger, it immediately fires at 100%. That's up to you guys. I never felt like I needed this. It's a little bit of a benefit, but nothing that I would be like, whoa, that's so cool. Oh my God. So yeah. Anyway, that is all of what these mods are. So you guys can see what they are, what's been added, how to use them. And I'm going to show you what they look like in the game in just a little bit. So before you do anything, close that out. Hit this button right here, program device. That will save it for you. After the program is saved into the device, we unhook the device and bring that over to the Xbox so we can test what we're doing. And I'll show you what that looks like as soon as this thing is done saving. All right, my dudes, this is going to be fun. Always fun to test out new things. Hopefully you got something out of what I was showing you with these. And yeah, so it's pretty obvious what they do. Anti-recoil basically just pulls down on your right thumbstick. That way the gun itself pulls down instead of pulling up with the recoil that's involved. And the horizontal anti-recoil stops your gun from going left and right, and you can tune it per weapon as you need to while you're in game. All right, that is that. Let's go over to the Xbox. How do I do this? All right, guys, so here we are. Check it out. Get your controller. Get your Zen, right there. Small cable. Hook up, small cable. And then reach over, plug in to your Xbox. See if you can see that. See if you can see that. Can you see it? Yep, you see it's plugged in right there. Cool. Now, take your controller. I don't do Bluetooth because, you know, to me that's just, I don't know, I just don't do it. Let's just put it that way. So, connecting the controller, and then that goes into the Zen, which is right here. See the right side? Well, my right, your left. This is the right side of the Zen. Boom. Hooked it up. You see the little thing on screen? Your controller is disconnected, and now we're reconnected. So, the little button right here, what you can do is play around. We're going to go to configuration 6, because that's what we were messing around with. Now, if you want to turn your game pack off at any time, hold down on the left bumper, or I'm sorry, the left trigger, and this one right here. Now that turns off your game pack. You should see it right there. It says game pack off. You want to turn it back on? Same thing, hold, press. Now, I set it up, I believe, so I can have rapid fire. This is a pulse rifle. Right? Let's get a better view here. You can do it like it says in the pack, ADS or aiming down sights. You see I'm using it with not aiming down sights, but also anti-recoil works. And if you guys can see the difference there, pretty good. So let's turn it off. Okay, it's now off. Right? So I have to basically go through my, you know, a bunch of trigger pulls. And as you can see, it kind of pulls up and to the left. Turning it back on, right? It's back on. All I got to do is hold. It still pulls, as you can see, a little bit to the left. So let's see if we can fix that. All right, move this down just a bit. Now, this right there, what I'm going to do is hold left bumper, I'm sorry, trigger, and the 3 lines, I guess that's like a start button. As I hold that down, your controller will vibrate. This will pop up. I'm going down to what's called adjustables, and on my controller is what I'm doing to control all this. I'm hitting A, and now you can see right there, primary anti-recoil 52. Now primary anti-recoil 3, I'm going to use it as an 8. So it should pull to the right to stop the pull to the left. I'm going to save it by hitting B on my controller. Cronus saved. Let's see how it works. Ready? Oh, it actually pulled more to the left. Okay, let's figure this out. So holding the controller down, holding the button, you'll feel the little vibration. Go to adjustables. Gonna go -10 in the other direction. I'm gonna save it, and let's see if it fixed it. Didn't really fix anything. So, let's figure it out. All right, adjustable, primary. Let's try going exaggerated amounts, so 25 to the right. Save that, and let's see if that fixes anything. Okay, that makes it go more to the left. Definitely made that go more to the left. So, let's go back to adjustable, horizontal anti-recoil setting. We're now putting it -25 in the other direction. I have no ammo. Oh, no. All right, hold on. Let's jump off the map here. My bad, guys. Didn't prepare well enough for that, I guess. And this just spawned us back in the same location. That was nice of it. All right. So, let's see if the horizontal recoil fixed anything. Yeah, there you go. That's a little better. Cool. So, there you have it. If your gun pulls to the left, you can modify your horizontal recoil. -27 is what I have it set at. I'm going to try -30. So if it pulls to the left, you want to make sure that you're setting on the Zen. Let me get that back up so you can see what I'm doing here. All right.
Adjustable. That's the first one. That's anti-recoil, which is up and down. When you go down, you see I now have it at -30. And the -30 on the line that's right there is to the left. So you're stopping the pull to the left by putting -30 to the left. Hit save. And here's what it looks like. You can tell the initial pull, it wants to go left. Oh, now it overcompensated and went to the right. So -30 might have been too much. Hey, that's good to know. We're learning. So I'm going down back to adjustable. I'm going to put it at -25. As you can see, it's now at -25. That seemed to be my lucky number. Got to hit B so I can save it. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, that's a little better. Still a little bit of pull to the left. So there's some number in between all this that I'm missing, but you get an idea of how it works. You can play around with the settings enough so that you can play with it and do what you need to do. And yeah. Anyway, hopefully you guys got something out of the video. You have an idea of how it works and what you're looking for. You know, do I have... See if it'll let me have some ammo for that. Nope. Might as well do the fusion rifle while I'm at it. So one of the things that I wanted was pulse rifle fusion. That's one of my loadouts that I want to do. So let's see if the fusion rifle... Okay. Do you see that? That's because I have rapid fire turned on for the fusion rifle. We're going to turn that off. So same thing, go into your menu, right? So you hit the right trigger with the 3 lines, go down to adjustable, hit A. Now, secondary. Oh, you know what? Aim assist. Let's see, fire mod. Okay. That's not the one. I need to change that back. So go back into the menu, go to mods, mod menu, which is the first one, and then you can change it. In-game vibration, primary, secondary, inverted Y, heavy disabled, aim assist, fine tuning, fire mod, that's what we want to turn off. So right there, disabled. Heavy, there's a little spot right there that says S for secondary, and there you go. Now let's see if it worked. Ready? Boom. So you can turn it off if you need to in game. Now you see what it does. The anti-recoil for a fusion makes it go up and down. So you see as I'm pulling, it's turning it down a little bit. All right. All right, cool. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next one.